the TA has been incredibly instrumental. One of her biggest responsibilities, like I said, is taking the student emails, categorizing and sorting them, and filtering me the content-related questions that, she doesn't feel like she should answer. She is a nutrition student, and which is critical. I think having a student, tied to the discipline is helpful because she can answer some content questions also. But she's the technical person. So I have assigned to her the responsibilities of making sure that she can explain to students clearly how to install the lockdown browser. She can explain to students clearly the policies with the course. She can help students troubleshoot if Wimba's not working. She's an expert on Java and clearing cookies, and she takes care of most of the technological stuff, and not taking care of it so much as communicating it to the students. She's really taken the IT stuff, the technical stuff by the horns, which allows me to focus more on the material and content that I'm trying to teach. She also is an excellent with words, so she is very good with emailing the students and making sure that they understand the policies in the course, and she's very brash and short and everything I'm not. So while I bend over backwards, providing this service to the students, she's very clear and straightforward about, that's already been explained to you, go refer to the syllabus. So her and I are a nice team.
Well, one of the things we discovered early on in the first semester we were working together was a lot of the questions were repetitive. And we often got question after question that was the same as one I had just literally answered 5 minutes ago. And developing form answers sounds convenient, but we actually felt as we went into this semester that the better answer would be to anticipate those questions. And what we've developed is an FAQ page on the Blackboard screen. And if you just stay with me, I'll go ahead and bring that up. We have it on the left-hand link, and you can see the main. There's an FAQ link, and we'll open that for you. And these are a lot of the recurring topics, and we add to them as we discover new things. One of the things is, well, do I have to buy the textbook? Well, yes, the text is required for the course. Do I have to buy the current edition? Well, but those we anticipate here. We have our textbook link, and we also have questions for the exams as they're administered online. The other things that come up here is IT help, which is always important for students in an online class, because are their computers up to speed? Are they running the correct software? Do they have the right interfaces? And one of the things that comes up a lot is with the Wimba classroom is both Firefox and Java can get kind of a little fussy in the order that you put them together and make sure they have current updates. And also Java has security issues and sometimes will get disabled, and then people are like, well, it worked yesterday, it doesn't work today. So we've put a lot of that information here with also links to tech support and the phone numbers for the Wimba helpline. And all this information then is readily available to the students. We really want them to call the Wimba helpline. We put it in yellow because those people will really get them set up on time. I can interface so much, but with these questions happening at all hours of the day, all days of the week, the best way is to anticipate the issues that that the students will have. And let's go back a page here. So again, you can see the other subjects are about the software we require for diet analysis. People want to know, well, what version? Do I get it in CD-ROM? Do I buy the online version? That's addressed in there. What about the lockdown browser? We do require the lockdown browser for exams. It prohibits students from going to other screens and Googling while they're in an exam. I mean, granted, we understand they have phones or they might have another computer next to them, but we do try to minimize it. And also, the lockdown browser helps prevent them from getting kicked out often of an exam. So the amount of resets that you'll have to do does get minimized. We certainly have those issues, and again, we try to anticipate them. One of the issues that has come up repeatedly, students will log into an exam and now their computer wants to do an auto update. Unfortunately, the lockdown browser doesn't stop that. They will get kicked out, will get an email. So we always make sure somebody's on board to do resets, usually twice a day at a minimum. But typically if I'm on my computer and I'm sitting there and I'm doing email and I see the email, I just go jump into Blackboard and reset their exam. When are lectures being held and how do they access them? How to contact the instructor? All these things, we just try to think about what information are students going to need to be able to do this on their own time, on their own schedule, and minimize the amount of that back and forth or repetitive information giving. And one of the things that's not on this list, which I'll probably add to it for next semester, is we have a number of students that require disability accommodations, and they need additional text time. And what we do is we set up in a separate course section for them so that when we load the exams into Blackboard with the lockdown browser, they are given that additional testing time that they will need. But that's the only thing they use that section for. We've been discovering that students now go to that section for the other course material, and it's not there. So that's why I need to develop a section for that. If you are using this for testing, please make sure you do all your assignments and all your other coursework in the main course section. And that's the key to really anticipating. And then what I do on my email, just so that we can keep track of those types of issues, let me go ahead and bring that over, is I use a Gmail interface, and I have set up many folders for the account, or sometimes in Gmail you'll see them called labels. And our class is Nutrition 313, so you'll see here it says my label is for SDSU, I'm the GA, and 313. So all my emails I want to sort into that folder. I usually ask the students, I shouldn't say usually, I require them, they don't all follow, to put N313 in the subject line of the email. That makes it easy for me to spot these questions in my inbox. You can also set Gmail to automatically route them to the label, but I'd rather have them in the inbox and manually put them there. That way I'm always scanning the inbox, because not everybody uses the proper language in the subject line. But once they're here, I now have subcategories. So I have one for the disability accommodation requests. I put all those emails there. Those students have emailed me their authorizations for additional test time, so that's all saved up right there, nice and neat. Exam resets, we can see, we'll kick it over there. These are when I get emails for people that need their exams reset, so we can kind of keep track of how many people on a percentage basis are having difficulty. Is this just overload? Is this a student error? Or is this something wrong with the technology based on how the test is being administered, so we can kind of see where those questions are heading and maybe head them off next semester. The other ones, spam. This is an issue for all teachers, I think, now going into online format with big classes. Many students, and this semester in particular, it's become a huge issue, are using the email tools link on Blackboard to spam 800 other students all at once for their commercial solicitations, their marketing surveys, anything else that is not related to the class. And from my perspective, this is inappropriate use of the email link. The email link should be used for your class only. So however an instructor decides to address that up front, we haven't yet figured out the proper consequence, but that will be posted for next semester. Maybe a blanket points lost, if you, here's the instructions, we're going to put it in yellow, because students don't deserve to be spammed on their class material. And it's not okay. And so that's another folder for that. And you can see we had a few emails already this semester that I've been starting to sort in there. And I think that's the key, is looking for the trends, looking for what's coming up the most. Where do we see what's there? Because you will always have individual questions that require an individual response. But the key, I think, to minimizing that onslaught into your inbox for either you or your teaching assistants is to say, what can I tell them up front? What information is there? And what I do is, if the information's in the FAQs, and if it's on Blackboard somewhere else, or it was sent out in an instruction sheet, if I get a question on that, I respond, please look it up in this location, because they will then tell their friends, don't bother emailing. If it's here, they're going to just tell you to look it up. But again, that is to help you be more efficient as far as not spending your time typing on your keyboard, oh, this is the answer, 10 times over. Whether it's a form book or not, even that block and paste takes time. We want to get to them and head them off at the pass.
Without her, I would be spending, the majority of my time handling IT issues and student questions that are not related to the course content. So she's been critical. I have her for 20 hours a week, and I could take 40. I mean, you could double that even, and the course would be even better. But with 20 hours a week, I do feel like she's able to handle the resets for the exams on the exam days, and there are 4. She does handle all student emails, and she does most of the troubleshooting when students are having technical problems.